Yeah, a bit of a quickie today. Just before 6 o'clock in the morning. Missed the sunrise. Well, most of it. Whole, well, dip. But I'd still like to get a few miles in. What a difference, eh? Between those first rides out in the pitch black, back in the pitch black. Now sunrise is 6:15 in the morning. Officially. That's about 20 minutes from now. The only thing that hasn't really changed is the temperatures. Yeah, we've had the occasional 6, 7, 8 degree morning. I haven't had to wear sort of winter kit. But for the most part, it's been between 0 and 5, hasn't it? With wind chill. We seem to have this relentless northeast wind at the moment. Is that global warming? Obviously our prevailing wind is generally from the southwest. Who knows? I'm certainly not clever enough to make comment on that. I think I'm okay to ask the question, but I guess I don't know enough to go much further than that. There are, of course, fervent believers in the effects of climate change, and those that are saying actually it seems to be manifesting its, get the mouth working, it seems to be manifesting itself in a slightly different way than expected. There's some people that say the world is now a greener place than it was before. Yeah, it's one of those big topics, isn't it? You can pick out what you want to believe and what you don't. We live in a world of that right now, don't we? But I guess there have certainly been changes even within my short lifetime in the grand scheme of things. And I think maybe things do take a while when you're talking about change on a global scale. We're talking about universe timings, really, aren't we? So if there have been changes in my life, then that's pretty rapid in the grand scheme of things, I guess. Again, I'm only really qualified to ask the question. I don't know enough to give any solid answers. Okay. I thought I'd forgotten to put my rear light on, but I'm looking down. There are red flashes on my chainstays, so I'm guessing that it is on. Okay. Zip was slightly undone there. I'm actually wearing my gravel shirt again. Rather than the heavy soft shell over the top. I thought I'd be brave. I know I'm not going to be out for much more than 45 minutes, an hour, so I could probably live with that. Right, that's an ambulance. He's going to come this way, but taking his time, so that's fine. No sirens or blues. So I wasn't expecting them to suddenly speed up. Well, that in front of you is the beach building. It's the new building on the Royal Bournemouth Hospital, or I don't know, University Hospitals Dorset, or whatever they want to call themselves these days. Yeah, it's massive. But I believe there's going to be a children's hospital and some other much needed facilities. Brand new. Oh, it is still the Royal Bournemouth Hospital over the doorway. Yeah, new entranceway. It's like all these things. Things are gradually jigged around in a hope that it will be more fit for purpose. Okay, what we got here? Right, on this occasion, the gym bunnies have got to look out for me, because a little down sports centre is down there. Okay, so they might be rushing out of the gym as we head to work, and then find me on the crossing. Woo-wee, it's cold. But yeah, I think I'll be all right in a few minutes. It's one of those not as cold as you think it is mornings. Keep pedaling, everything will warm up. Now, in theory, I'm guessing the bike path ends here, because you're supposed to go right there. I'm not sure. There's no real... yeah. There's no actual say. There's no sign to say end of bike path or anything like that, but... So there you go, all you people that like to point out my mistakes. There's one. I probably did 100 yards on something that wasn't a bike path. Go at it in the comments. I should have come out the other way actually and gone down to the sea first. We would have got more, or some probably, of the sunrise. Okay. Yeah, so I mentioned on Sunday's ride about the rattle I used to have down by the front wheel. Yeah, I thought it was the brake pads and the return spring being a bit weak, a bit lazy. So I bent it open slightly, made sure there was no sort of dirt and nastiness in there. Yeah, didn't make any difference whatsoever, so it's quite obviously not that. Okay. And all right, what's tapping? Probably the microphone, isn't it? So I'm sorry if you've had nothing but tapping for the first 10 minutes. No, it's not the microphone because it's still doing it. Would you believe? Right. Oh, I can't believe this. This is actually a creaking in my helmet. I can't believe that after the weekend. Okay, here we go. That's better. Right, yes, so yeah, let's just finish what I was saying about the front wheel. Yeah, so I checked the bottle cage. I just went through everything. I think something here is loose. And yeah, it was the key for the through axle. Yeah, it's just sits in the through axle. It's removable. It's obviously got a rubber sort of grommet in place to hold it there. And you can swap it between the front and rear wheels. You've always got it with you, I guess, if you need it. But it is only a 5mm hex key, so I've got that on the I've got that on my multi-tool. So I was bouncing it up and down, just thinking, where is that noise? I lifted the front wheel and bounced it up and down just on the back wheel, and there it was, right in front of my eyes. It was quite obviously coming from the area of the front pads, but I took it out, and silent bike all of a sudden. So there you go. Crazy world, isn't it? Chasing noises round bikes. Well, around anything mechanical, really. Yeah. So hopefully what you're hearing right now is just the noise of maybe the drivetrain a little bit and the tyres on the road. So I made some small changes to my bike, ready for Mallorca. I have two pairs of Primavera wheels. I don't think they're anything special. I think they're like they're entry level, but they're quite chunky, so I believe they've got some strength to them. They've got a nice wide sort of internal rim, and the ones I've got on here are 30mm deep, which I'm hoping will be about perfect. I realise we're in the realms of marginal gains here, but they're certainly a bit lighter than my 56mm deep ones, which I really like. I've never weighed them, but it is quite obvious when you hold them both. Yeah, the 56s are nice. I just feel confident on them. Plenty of material down there. Hopefully a bit of extra strength from that. That's how my brain works anyway. I'm quite happy to put up with a bit of extra weight for a bit of extra confidence. But I guess if we're going to be climbing a bit more than usual, and if I'm going to go to the effort of putting lighter, narrower tyres on, I might as well put them on lighter wheels. Yeah, lighter, shallower wheels. You know, let's just grab some gains where we can, where it's going to cost us nothing. The only thing I've had to do is buy tyres. Well, as I've probably mentioned before, I have the a Gearlist 32s or 30s, I'm not sure. I mean, I think they're 30/32 because mine blow up to 35 on the 56mm rims. But like I say, they are a really wide internal width on the road bike scale. And I've had those on there since the beginning of 2004. I was warned about punctures because at the time they didn't do a durable version. And yes, I've had my fair share of punctures. I've been fortunate. Every time it's happened, Tubeless has managed to keep me going, or at least enough to get home. In fact, I'll have to have a count up of just how many times I had to put a a plug in. Probably not as many as I think, or has my brain just disregarded it, and I'll actually be amazed at just how many plugs there are in them. Now, I didn't have to put plugs in every time, so actually they sealed pretty well. Yeah, I was quite happy with the performance of those. They feel nice, but then 35mm width. Always going to feel nice. So, Let's go this way. Yeah, so on this bike I've gone for 28 Agilist, but the Duro version. That's the same as I put on the Tri-Ban when I brought that back out of retirement. And so far, they have been faultless. In fact, these haven't even lost any air since I put them on and first rode them. What's this? Third ride on them. So this rim and tyre combination obviously works quite well. So I'm quite happy with that. That boosts a bit of confidence again. I wouldn't say these rims are particularly good for the initial setup. You definitely want a bead blaster. I've got a compressor, and even though obviously it saves me from having to do any real hard work, it's not the same as a bead blaster. Let's put it that way. You've just got a continuous supply of air, and by massaging your way around the rim, it does pop on, but it's certainly not fast. It takes a moment or two. So these rims probably not the best for the initial setup. Now the DT Swiss rims that we've got, or I've got on the Tri-Ban and use on the other bikes, yeah, compressor, pop, straight on. Yeah, it's as good as a bead blaster. But yeah, since they've been on, like I say, I haven't lost any air yet. Did put them on, just went round the block quickly. I think that helps to just massage the beads into place. Then top them up to what they should be. And yeah, they've been fine ever since. So I've gone with my old sort of trusted 60 at the front, 65 at the back, which is certainly what I use on the 30. Let's call them 32s just for the sake of it. And I don't know if it's a durable case, not sure, but it feels good. It feels hard because of course narrower tyres, British roads, need I say any more? But there's certainly no soft patch at the bottom. Roadwork still here? Looks like it. There's a car the other way. Hopefully that'll trigger it. There we go. Oh, right. So there's not much else to say about my bike. It's pretty much as it was. Just slightly different wheels and tyres. Does mean when I come back, I just pop the 56s back in and business as usual. So what else has been happening behind the scenes in Wheeler World? Well, I guess there's a couple of things looming, isn't there? I have now officially 9 working days before retirement. Funds have been moved. Lots going on with that. I never realised that retiring would be quite an administrative affair. But Julie's got quite a lot to deal with at the moment. So I think when I do actually retire, there's a chance I could be busier than I think I'm going to be. Because I will step in and take away some of the responsibilities from her. Nothing to do with her health, just facts of life that need dealing with. Oh, this is very pleasant. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a headwind, or what feels like a headwind. Trees are moving a bit, as you can see, so it's not particularly still. I would think most of this I'm generating myself, but I think it is warming up, so yeah, sun comes up, air warms up, doesn't take long. Very definitely into spring now, I feel. I don't know when spring is officially upon us, but yeah, single digit mornings, but the sun, blue sky, a real tonic compared to what we've had. Not been a particularly wet winter, not like previous years. Which has been good. It means have been able to get out, but of course other things have conspired to restrict bike riding. I wouldn't go as far as to say I was Julie's carer. That's certainly not the case, but certain things had to happen certain parts of the day, so yeah, I made sure that was the case. So no real time after work to go for rides, and no real time in the mornings. Julie's sensible, as you know. Yeah, sometimes she's a bit laughy and giggly, but she knows what she needs to do. So for most of the time I could just leave her to it. But yeah, certain times of the day when she could stay in bed and I could take on those responsibilities, I did. But that's what we do, isn't it, gents? We don't really ask for thanks, we just get on and do it. Because it is our job, isn't it? To look after our ladies. And it's not our job, necessarily, to look for thanks. Just be thankful that we've done what we can to help them. And hopefully, okay, that benefits them and therefore us. I do feel these new modern generations, they need thanks for everything all the time. I don't know that we were like that. It's always nice when you get it, and I'm lucky I do, but I'm not sure that we were ever a generation that looked for it. Okay, a bit hazy. You just about make out the white cliffs over at Old Harry there. There's Boscombe Pier. One of Julie's favourite views, this. And it is fantastic as you come round the corner, and when the scaffolding's not there obviously, you get a view along the beach all the way to Sandbanks. Yeah. Fantastic. It is strange, I know how lucky we are living here. But I must admit, oh, he's going in there, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's boring because we see it all the time. I would just go as far as to say it's familiar. No, you're not going? No, he's put him to park again. Just saw a little flash of the reversing lights. Right, 6:30. Missed the big bump. Yeah, this is the road that melts. In fact, when they built it, I think they literally just dripped tarmac from the top and let it run. Whew. Wasn't ready for this today. There we go. Yeah, lots to do. Which I was fiddling with this morning. Looked up. Bloomin' heck. It's nearly 6 o'clock. But we can get 10 to 15 miles in. I'll be happy. Right, hopefully these will change the lights. Let's go around the drain because I'm on the brakes. No rush. Mercedes was on his phone. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm quite lucky. At an early age, I decided I didn't want to work forever. In truth, I worked for 2 years longer than I needed to. That was mostly, well, yeah, my own fault really. But part of that decision making was because Julie should have got redundancy several times and was turned down. So she didn't want to give up. I sort of gave her an ultimatum, not a serious one, but Julie knew eventually she would get redundancy, or hoped in the end she would. And I did say, well, look, we can't wait forever. You know, what is going to be a sort of 5-figure payout. It's not huge. You know, she's had a great time at the bank, but always stayed within a certain band. So she had good sort of maternity leave and stuff like that. Didn't ever want to go into management. So we're not talking about a huge amount of money here. Yeah, so she wanted to hang on because she didn't want to give that up. I said, we can't wait forever. I'm not worried about the money. In the grand scheme of things, money isn't that important. As long as you have a certain level and you know, or have a good idea of how to use it for your own best benefit, then we have enough. And again, we're not talking about huge money here. We're not millionaires, you know. But because I've always had a private pension since the age of 19, and we have shares and other investments, you know, there's enough. As much as we'd like? No, probably not. Does anybody have enough money? When we look at those above us that have got lots of money, we say surely that's enough. But of course they've got different lifestyle, different outgoings, overheads. So to them, no, it's not enough. But to us, we've always kept our outgoings, our overheads low. Throughout the years, we've never been lavish. We've always enjoyed everything that we do. We've spent money where we wanted to. Ultimately learnt the things that make us happy and the things that don't. There's a goat there. Yeah, we've got goats on this end of the prom as well. So we didn't really, over the years, waste money frivolously trying to be happy, if you know what I mean. We knew what made us happy, and we knew what was okay occasionally and what didn't make us happy. So we were able to, yeah, we were able to save money that way. It wasn't really saving. We never felt like it was saving. It was just not wasting it on things that didn't matter quite so much as maybe other people think it should. We live in that time, don't we, where it's not necessarily how much money you've got, it's how much money you appear to have by the things that you do. And there you go, there's the sunrise. And that brings it all into perspective, doesn't it? Yeah, you could say the clothes I'm wearing, the watch I'm wearing, the shoes I'm wearing, the bike I'm riding, the parts on it, all cost money to be here, but that is free. Doesn't matter how you look at it, that is free. Everybody has access to that, no matter how much money they do or don't have. And sometimes it's there, and sometimes it isn't. And again, makes no difference how much money you have. We're talking about that global universal thing again. Where no matter how much we might want it, the universe and the world decides whether it's going to be there. Yeah, so certain funds have been moved, some of the shares have been liquidated, others have been left in place, emergency funds set up just in case, and yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. Topped up the pension because it's the end of the financial year. That hopefully means that I should get tax relief on the full amount before I start to draw it down. And of course, a brand spanking new personal tax allowance in April. So I'm not going to take any tax-free cash. I'm going to keep the personal allowance in place and just take a monthly amount. So things feel like normal. I don't need a lump sum. There's no mortgage to pay off. There's no car payments to pay off. Like I say, we keep our overheads pretty low. All right. Let's just gloss over the bike bit. Okay, I get that. But yeah, we do. We keep our overheads low. Eat at restaurants. I wouldn't say rarely. We'll happily jump in somewhere when we're out on a Saturday or whatever, and we'll have a couple of nights out a month. But we're also quite happy to cook at home. Order in, maybe occasionally. Not often, to be honest. But yeah, we mostly feed ourselves. Again, I think that's a generational thing, isn't it? Of course, I probably should hand over responsibility for feeding to somebody who's got my welfare at heart. I can tell you now, that's not Julie. Now, I think women generally are feeders, aren't they? That's what they're made to do, isn't it? In the natural order of things, You know, they're made to be mothers, carers, looker after us. You know, when the kids are growing up, anything happens, they go to their mum, don't they? You know, they get a cuddle and a little rub, and there you go, you're all good again. You know, they come to me and it's like, oh yeah, come on, let's get on with it. Yeah, I guess if money was no limit, I could have what I wanted. One of the things I would definitely have is a personal chef. And I don't mean somebody who tells me what to eat. I mean somebody who comes around once a day, goes, right, there you go. There's lunch, there's tea. Get on with it. Don't you dare have anything else in between. Yeah. Maybe they'd need to be big and scary. Morning. Yeah, just to make absolutely sure I didn't. Right, so that's where I'm going to leave it. A little bit of behind the scenes in Wheelers at Large World. Did I talk about Julie's helmet? I didn't. Maybe next time. That was quite comical in itself on Sunday. I'm sure at one point she was just going to throw it in the bushes and ride without a helmet for the day. Anyway, maybe next time. Right, well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for making it this far into the journey. And I'm on 12 miles at the minute, so I'm guessing it'll be 14 by the time I get home. And yeah, not epic, not super fast. Nose is streaming. Could have a cold on the way, but let's gloss over that. And yeah, please come and join me on the next one. We're nearly there, aren't we? Nearly to April. I've got a feeling they'll continue even into April. Why would I not enjoy sunny blue sky mornings and no cars on the road? But of course we'll be able to go further afield. Anyway, come and join me next time. Thanks for watching.